Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the ComMetrics University Coffee Break webinar number 7. Today's topic: why should NGOs take a social media baseline? I'm Özig Erdekar, I'm the CTO of ComMetrics and SiteJab Labs. We help clients with these to address issues like I'm going to talk about today. Just imagine your favorite charity or your employer or your organization or your business for that matter, and take a screenshot of its Facebook page or of its web page or Twitter and so forth. And then we can go further and we say, well, should we be on these things? And if we ignore them, is there a risk? And of course we want to plan. Are we going to do anything different within a year or not? And for this particular purpose, it's like your wine cellar. You have to take an inventory. And the inventory is going to tell you what kind of wines you have, and then you can put up a strategy and say, these are the wines I still need in my basement to really make this an excellent wine cellar. So here are the 3 nuggets I want to discuss today, but without much further ado, let me just get into it. The first one is, which channel do you want to use? I took a city like St. Gallen, which is in eastern Switzerland and has about 80,000 or so people. And here you can see they've used hashtag and Marktplatz SG to tweet about something. And those kind of things. So that's just kind of the situation we have. They have a blog. They've just started a blog for their town councillors. Those are elected and they work full-time. They're still trying to get into swing of things. Here we have the yellow or the highlighted bit.ly link. If you add a plus to any bit.ly and you put it in your browser field, the URL field that you have there, you can find out how many clicks. Not too many people clicked on it, and then they took it off a day later, so it was gone. But of course it's still in Google. So that's the question kind of is, we have 3 links, that's not satisfactory. Then we take it off the web page, even though it's a positive kind of information for football fans, and we may want to have left it on instead, because it would have told them that we're doing something for them, but we decided against it. How are we doing when it comes to the City Council blog? Well, we have an RSS feed, but considering that maybe 90% of our readers don't have a clue how RSS works, even though it has been around for quite a while, the question is, could we maybe give it to them via email? And with WordPress, and this is a WordPress blog, this is very easy. You just put in a plugin, or such as subscribe and then the number 2, and that particular add-on will then allow you to send it out via email right from your blog. Of course you could also use FeedReader, but FeedReader is often down and it's quite inaccurate, and it makes you dependent on something else. So my recommendation is always use subscribe to, and you're better. The other one is, of course, is it targeted to the right audience? And we can't get into this because of time limitations here. But one of the questions then, or one of the issues comes up afterwards is, okay, so what do we want to change? Do we have any priorities? Number 1 priorities are always the law and compliance and things you can do for nothing. It doesn't cost you anything, like the subscribe to plugin you can use to get it out via email. Here we don't have a social media policy, and I've shown it to you here to put a code validator on the lower right there of the City Council's blog. Doesn't really make much sense. Okay, so better have policies and be compliant, and then link to the policies and people can read it, and they must be written not by lawyers. They should be a normal person, an average John Doe should be able to understand those. Otherwise the judges will let you know, as they did with Facebook. If you look at the URL, for instance, that could be changed, that you don't call it blog.stadt.sg.ch as it's done now, because you may want to use that to list all the blogs you have in the town, and then do a slash after the ch and say Stadtrat or tax office or whatever. You give the readers also the blog posts via email, and you ask other departments if they want to blog as well, because you have it up already. This brings me to the conclusion of the webinar. We talked about doing an assessment of what channels are we using, how well are we doing, that was point 2, and how do we want to improve. And here you need to focus on number 1, which is legal compliance, what the law requires you to do to be compliant, and things which you can do without any cost, and then you go to priority number 2 and priority number 3. Thank you very much for having attended. If you want to read more, here you have a link. If you want to influence May 24th webinar, please leave a comment on the above link. I'm Erzi Gattaker. I thank you very much for having attended today, and I hope I'll see you again next time. And if we can help you in any way, here is our information to get in touch with us.